Hey, water signs, it's your girl Belladonna Krishani, your WTF Mercury Retrograde reading. um, so I wanted to do these readings because Mercury Retrograde can be a little bit confusing, can feel a little bit sort of foggy, which is very typical. Also, during Mercury retrograde, there could be a lot of miscommunications, and it can kind of send you into a tailspin a little bit. But it's all for a purpose. Mercury retrograde is not just some like random event that happens. It's actually supposed to help you with um, further development for the plans for the coming year, especially, well, rather more so the end of the year Mercury retrograde, which we are in right now at this moment, right now. So, I wanted to just kind of come to you guys and just kind of like let's see what's happening. I know Venus retrograde just ended, and then we just got thrown into Mercury retrograde. That's no fun. That's no fun. But everything is for your growth. So, and if you're like me, you're like, I didn't growed. I'm a grown, I'm a grown person now, but hey, this is just how it goes. So, um, I went ahead and shuffled and put out 8 cards. So we're gonna go through these 8 cards. Gonna tell a story. The story is gonna be, what's this Mercury retrograde going to be about? What do I have to look forward to or look out for? What am I learning? What am I supposed to be learning during this period? Now, although these are individual, and so don't like. I'm reading for quite a few people here. For some people, it's going to resonate. For some people, it's not going to resonate. For some people, you might actually want to look at your like your sun sign, your rising sign, or your moon sign to just kind of like see if maybe one of those kind of resonate a little bit more than this one does. Sometimes it's just the way it goes. Anyway, let's get started. All right. So we start with the Lover card. So the Lover card is speaking to um, this, especially with this Venus retrograde ending, you guys kind of reached a place of a newfound sense of compassion, a newfound sense of empathy for those around you, a newfound sense of maybe even compassion more so for yourself, and all the things that you have been going through in the last few years as the cycle, has been, usually cycles last about 7 years. So as these cycles for the last 7 years have kind of come around, you even maybe reached a point of forgiveness. Hooray to you, because like forgiveness is a hard one for a lot of people. um, but it's not over yet, my friend. It's not over yet. There's still going to be a little bit more of this like little tail end of like lessons coming. Okay. Now, during Mercury retrograde, which is also very common, is exes start coming back, and not the cute little pretty fluffy ones. We're talking about, if they might have been fluffy, I don't know, but we're talking about people who you need to let go, but you also need to reconcile parts of that with. So not necessarily saying you guys have to go to Build a Bear and like be friends or anything like that. More so saying like having a conversation that's different from, hey, you know what, I'm done with you, bye, to having the conversation of like, you know what, this situation that I was in with you really hurt me, and I didn't really use my voice to tell you what the boundaries were and stuff like that, and that's on me. But I feel like we should definitely go our separate ways. It's definitely time for us to be not together. Maybe this is with a job situation where maybe you start getting some opportunities from other jobs that you have previously had, and it's might be something you might want to like kind of turn down, but sort of in a way where you're not doing it because you're running, you're doing it because the fact that it's just not who you are anymore, that kind of stuff. It's kind of that kind of stuff. And so there is something else that has to be learned before the end of the year. You have to become more whole to prepare you for the first 6 months of next year, which are going to be lit. It's going to be pretty great, if you allow it to be. Now that's your choice, you know. Um, so when I was speaking about things coming that aren't necessarily just in alignment with who you are, I have the magician card that comes in reverse. So what I feel like is that is probably more accurate, than not, to certain situations that are going to be coming back into your life, that they're just not in alignment to who you are. And so for you to sort of fix yourself into these things, would be you having to go through the same cycle yet again, and nobody wants to do that. Like let's be moving on. Let's be moving on from this. Okay. Now, if you and this is your choice, if you finally decide to let go of the things that you've been holding on to so tightly, if you decide to let the lesson sort of end, and on a note where it's sort of like the slate is clean, like it's cut and dry, we're about to move on, then you have the priestess card. Okay. And this is going to be a lot sooner than you think. Probably, I feel like the beginning of December, you're going to reach this point, which is the priestess. Okay. Where it's just that little bit of residual energy that needs to be cleared out. It's a little bit of residual energy that needs to be cleared out. And you guys are going to reach the priestess card. And this is going to be really great for you because, you guys have been through so many shifts and turns and been so wavy, and maybe has not been externally, but it's definitely been internally, that you guys finally need to reach this, but you're kind of at the final test. So pass the test, you get here. Okay. Now, there is, okay, let me put it this way, because I don't want to say there's more work to be done. What I'm saying is, um, you have to realize that those things, the reason why you have to let them go is those things are not going to sustain you. Okay. You need things that are going to sustain you. You need to be asking yourself the question of what sustains me. The thing about water is water's infinite. Okay. Water is an infinite resource. It's everywhere. It exists in everything. And so, a lot of times what happens is, because we're so infinite, um because you're kind of a resource that can keep giving, keep giving, keep giving, you don't realize that you still need to be replenished or you will go dry. You know, and so, if these things are not replenishing you, if these things are not feeding back to you, then they have to go. And that's just the way it is. That is just the way of the priestess. Now, this could be a priest as well. If you're a guy watching, this could be a priest as well. Okay. It's not like gender specific. Um, and I said, so there's something that I said about the earth sign, because I did the earth sign on reading just a second ago, but the king of songs in reverse. So you guys are reaching the priestess energy. You guys are still not yet at a place of mastery. You're at a place of training. And so the next 7 years is definitely going to be, you guys moved from a lot of energies that were just sort of like, you kind of like a toddler, kind of like, like trying to learn how to use your emotions, to the best ability, and sometimes making mistakes, and sometimes, things exploded, and like you put some elements together, and and those chemicals don't work together, that kind of stuff. And now but you guys are still in a place of training, but the place of training being more like you went from being a toddler into now, elementary school kind of thing. So you guys are now in elementary school, congratulations. You guys have graduated. You guys have definitely emotionally graduated, but now you are learning a whole new set of skills and how to communicate, and how to, ask for what you need, and how to be able to receive what it is that you need, in order, and how to, be able to be a healer without being an enabler. And so you guys are kind of in this point right now. um, Hold on 1 second. I have to, verify something. Okay. So, Um, in the training ground, and then we have the card. Now I had this is what I had to verify. This is the new deck that I just got, and it's the LOL card. And I was like, laugh out loud, like really? No. So basically, this card is the card of um, the initiation. So you guys have to be initiated into sort of your next level. Now I feel like that's going to come a lot quicker than these last 7 years has happened or last few years have happened. But you guys are going to, reach a point of initiation. And so this is all what this is going to be, being initiated into your kind of higher level, your higher self. This is a very spiritual time for you guys. This is not going to be as, the other cycle was a lot more like earthbound things kind of crashing into you and falling into the ocean, that kind of thing. This isn't going to be that. This is going to be a lot more of a spiritual sort of. A lot of you guys are going to awaken spiritually to to your true calling. um, and that true calling could really kind of be, calling with your soulmate. This can definitely be your calling with your what you're supposed to do for the world. So if you're a healer, you're going to do a lot more of that. You're going to find a lot more people coming to you for that. If you are a person who, who especially does readings, you're going to be doing a lot more of that. A lot of people are going to come to you. Your initiation is going to be through people being attracted um, to who it is that they see you as now that you have actually graduated from being a toddler into your sort of like elementary stage. And that is, like I said, the earth, so the ace of earth, that's going to lead to some new opportunities that are going to arise. And this is going to be especially towards the end of Mercury retrograde. So just be patient because there's going to be a lot of things shifting in the process, but you're going to come here and it's going to be, this is the ace of earth. And why are you coming here? Because regardless to whatever level or whatever stage you are and have always been the priest or priestess. Okay? So thank you so much for reading this. If you have not watched your mid-month readings, those are up right now, so make sure you watch them, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys for the December mid-month readings. Okay, bye.